her life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and to the service of our great imperial family.
Remembering Queen Elizabeth II.
The United Kingdom's longest reigning monarch is being honored across the globe and here in Colorado.
She will be remembered for being very dignified, but somehow also inaccessible.
She is someone who has carried this role all her life. She's dedicated her life to this role.
It's sad, it's end of an era.
We're going in depth on what will happen in the coming days and weeks as King Charles III ascends to the throne.
Everything has changed. It is King Charles now.
Record heat again today, but a cold front is on the way. Just how much cooler it will be tomorrow.
And Colorado Representative Leslie Herod believes she could be Denver's first female mayor after throwing her name in for next year's race.
We begin with breaking news. We have a live look at a 10-acre wildfire burning in Larimer County. Mandatory evacuation notices have been issued for about a dozen people or so living northwest of Fort Collins. So precisely, this is County Road 66 and County Road 21.
Fire crews have a plane and helicopter crew working to put out the flames. We will continue to monitor this and bring you any breaking updates throughout the show. Thank you for joining us on Denver 7 News at 6. I'm Jessica Porter.
I'm Shannon Ogden. He is Mike Nelson, and you've got a lot on your plate this week.
I've got a lot of good news coming up. A nice cold front coming our way that's going to drop the temperatures dramatically for tomorrow and Saturday and may bring us some very beneficial rain. 99 today. That's a record high. Hit 104 out at Ray. Fort Collins 96, that heat wave just going on and on. It's still really hot outside. We're still 90 at the top of the hour here in Denver, 87 up at Fort Collins. But notice the north, it's cooled off a bit. Now that's not the front. That's some rain showers that have occurred across north central sections of Colorado and southeastern Wyoming. We still have a heat advisory in effect till 8 o'clock tonight. Covers all of northeastern Colorado. But you see some of those scattered showers and thunderstorms up here. Not out of the question that wildfire may have been caused by lightning, because there's been some lightning in that area. But to the north and to the west of us, that cold front is quickly coming our way. It's going to make a big difference in the weather in the next 24 hours. 30 degrees cooler tomorrow. Some showers are expected. It'll be very cool on Saturday before it warms up a little bit again on Sunday, but not nearly as hot as it's been recently. Your full 7-day coming up in about 15 minutes.
Thank you, Mike. Her 70-year reign has come to an end.
Queen Elizabeth II died peacefully this afternoon at Balmoral Castle in Scotland. In her time on the throne, she saw 15 UK prime ministers come to power, 14 U.S. presidents, and 7 popes.
Her son, King Charles III, has been preparing for the crown his entire life and now takes the throne at age 73. The king is calling his mother's death, quote, a moment of the greatest sadness for me and all members of my family. He added, quote, her loss will be deeply felt throughout the country, the realms, and the Commonwealth, and by countless people around the world.
So it is currently 1 o'clock in the morning in London. This is a live look from our cameras outside Buckingham Palace. Crowds, mourners have been out there all afternoon, and still at this very early hour, they are still outside to mourn their queen. And tonight we are going deeper on what's next for the new King of England and how local lawmakers and Coloradans are reacting to this news.
Denver 7's Patrick Perez begins our coverage tonight and joins us live in Denver off South Broadway. Patrick, people are coming to places like the restaurant you're at.
Yeah, Jessica, we are outside of GB Fish and Chips. An employee that I spoke with here a few hours ago tells me people have been stopping by all day to get a meal in honor of the Queen. Of course, they are in mourning, but also they're asking a lot of questions about what the future of this community will look like without their Queen.
As people in the UK and around the world mourn Queen Elizabeth II, those far from home in Colorado are also grieving in their own ways.
When I heard, I felt I was prepared for it. But you're never really prepared for death, any kind of death, even if someone's been ill for a long time.
Sylvia Lamb left London for Denver about 5 years ago, but the news of the Queen's death is just as impactful today as it would have been then.
This is the end of an era. I've only known the Queen. She's been the head of state for forever.
While it may be hard for some Americans to empathize, Sylvia says we have to look at the Queen as someone who served her people in a bipartisan way for 7 decades.
You can only respect somebody like that, who has that sense of duty to their country, to their nation, to their people, to their subjects, to their citizens.
Over at GB Fish and Chips on South Broadway in Denver,
It's sad. It's end of an era.
expats like Patrick Fogarty are now concerning themselves with what's going to happen next.
Everyone loves the Queen. Everyone just loves it. Like, she's always been there. She's always been cool. It's kind of when your grandma dies, you don't know what to do, kind of thing.
People were coming in the English restaurant throughout the day Thursday, he says, to have an authentic meal in honor of the Queen.
Brits, South African, anyone from the Commonwealth comes here. Jamaican, like New Zealand, Australian, everyone comes here to buy meat pies, sausage rolls.
And while there's division across the pond, just as there is here, people like Sylvia hope in some way the Queen's death will bring them all together.
I think the collective mourning, in a strange way, has come at the right time.
So I went to the British Bulldog in downtown Denver today, as well as this restaurant. I spoke with an employee there who tells me whenever that funeral is scheduled officially, they plan to potentially open up early so people can come and gather. And I'm sure that's not the only event that we'll see happening here in the Denver Metro. Shannon.
All right, Patrick, thank you for that report. The Queen, the most widely traveled head of state in history. Now, she never visited Colorado. Now, Governor Polis also ordered flags lowered at half-staff, as the president has done, until the burial of the Queen. The governor also issued a statement on Twitter. Colorado celebrates and honors the life and memory of Her Royal Majesty.
Prince Charles is now king, and it comes at a time when the ways in which we know the monarchy today will be challenged. This afternoon, I spoke with Professor Martin Rhodes from DU's Joseph Corbell School of International Studies, and he says the time will come where the royal family doesn't have as much celebrity status.
I think inevitably, by the time, and this will probably precede the end of Charles' reign, certainly it will happen under his successor, William, it'll become a much less profound, glamorous monarchy. It'll become more like the Dutch monarchy, with the members of the royal family cycling to the marketplace and mixing with ordinary people.
Professor Rhodes also says King Charles will likely reduce the number of royals being paid with public money.
And the palace has been preparing for the Queen's passing. In fact, this afternoon, I read a long in place plan called London Bridge. It was first put together in the early 1960s. It details every single thing that will happen and in what order the moment the Queen dies. So first, there's a cryptic phone call to the Prime Minister from the Queen's personal secretary on a secure line saying only London Bridge is down, alerting the Prime Minister of her death. Other parts of the plan. Her coffin soon will be transported to St. Giles Cathedral in Scotland before being transported to the throne room at Buckingham Palace. Her body will then lie in state at Westminster Hall for 4 full days. Her state funeral service is expected to be in about a week and a half. That will be at Westminster Abbey. And then the Queen will be laid to rest after a final private funeral at Windsor Castle. Queen Elizabeth II will be buried on Windsor Castle grounds next to her husband, Prince Philip, who died last year.
Right now on the Denver7.com, you'll find several in-depth stories on the Queen's passing, including a look at her longtime devotion to her favorite dog breed, the adorable Corgi. In fact, the Queen has owned more than 30 Corgis in her lifetime. You can also get the latest on the Queen and her plan on the plan for the days ahead on the free Denver 7 Plus app.
Aurora police have arrested a Denver sheriff's deputy on assault charges related to a domestic violence incident late last night. 40-year-old Deputy Sheriff Ernest Parker is also facing charges for property damage. Deputy Sheriff Parker has been placed on paid administrative leave.
In 163 years, Denver has never had a female mayor. Next year, though, that could change.
Several women have thrown their hat in the ring to be the city's next mayor in what's becoming a very crowded field.
Denver 7's Megan Lopez spoke with the newest candidate, State Representative Leslie Herod, about why she believes she would be a good fit for the job.
For more than a decade,
I want to begin with a sincere thank you to the people of Denver.
Mayor Michael Hancock has led the city of Denver through good times and bad, through social justice protests, a pandemic, and more. He's term limited, though, leaving the door open for Denver's next leader to step up next year. And already the list of candidates vying for the seat is getting long. It includes Denver City Councilwoman Debbie Ortega and Kelly Brough, the president of the Denver Metro Chamber of Commerce. Then on Thursday, State Representative Leslie Herod was the latest to throw her name in the ring, bringing the list to a dozen candidates. Herod is the first LGBTQ black lawmaker elected to the State House. She serves on the Joint Budget Committee and was behind major police accountability bills, as well as others on equity and paying taxes, among other things. Before her announcement party, Herod told Denver 7 what her top priorities would be as mayor.
Affordable housing, homelessness, ensuring we have safe neighborhoods, ensuring that we actually are the green city we think we are, including more parks and more public transit. There's so much that we can do in this city. We have so much opportunity, and the people I know are supporting it.
Here's the thing, though. Herod is currently running for re-election in House District 8. That election is in November. If she wins both, it will be up to a Democratic selection committee to pick her replacement in the Capitol. We asked her why run for both.
I want to be clear, I am term limited, and so I will not be able to continue on in the legislature after this, my last term.
There's still a long way before next year's election. No matter who wins, though, it will be up to them to usher the city through population growth, affordable housing issues, a major airport renovation, and more. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
I came here, I got way more than I expected.
VA clinics are once again going mobile.
We haven't been able to have it in 2 years because of COVID.
Now more Colorado veterans are getting the help they need to access crucial resources and benefits.
So often veterans who are experiencing homelessness don't come into the VA, so we need to send services out to them.
Plus, Russell Wilson says he's ready to make his grand return to Seattle and get his first win as a Bronco on the old team's turf.
We got a football game to play, so I'm excited to just get out there and play again. There's a lot of guys I'm super close with on the other side, so it'll be a great battle.